Hello and welcome to Easter Island, and behind me we have a platform or an ahu, and on it are stood the famous Moai, the statues that were carved here on this tiny island from around maybe 1000 AD through to 1500 AD, but that's just a guess. But let's start at the beginning. Why am I here on Easter Island? Well, it all begins with the discovery of some new planets in an area around our Earth, around the solar system, called the Kuiper Belt. And in the early part of the 21st century, from around 2002 through to 2006, a team in California were discovering a whole band of new planets in this Kuiper Belt, and the head astronomer Mike Brown from Caltech named these new planets after the ancient gods of the Pacific. Not all of them, but a few of them. He chose ancient creator gods from somewhere other than Rome and Greece, which is where previously all the names had been chosen from when awarding them to planets. This broke all the rules. Why did he pick gods from somewhere else? He did it because he was a bit of a maverick, a bit of a pioneer himself, and in doing that he kind of created a whole new thing for astrology. Like, we were given symbols which describe stuff which clearly we're going to need to use in the 21st century, but we need to find out what they mean so that we can predict with them, so that we can use them. So I've come here to Easter Island to find out for myself all about the god Makemake. And Makemake was quite special to Easter Island, just this island. He wasn't known over the rest of Polynesia. Now, it's thought that this island was originally inhabited around the 10th century by Polynesians. And these were incredible people. They could navigate using the stars and the tides and looking at marine animals and birds many thousands and thousands and thousands of miles quite easily. They had no problem with getting in their double-hulled canoes and travelling 10,000 miles. It wasn't a problem to them, and they found where they wanted to go. They were so skilled at navigation. So these were people who are completely in tune with the sea and the sky, who lived by it and worked by it seamlessly as one. So they had a wonderful spiritual experience. Anyway, so early Polynesian explorers settled here on Easter Island, and clearly they had some very clever arty characters amongst them, because they started to carve these incredible moai. Some of them go up to like tens and tens of tons, in a quarry from an outcrop of rock on the island. And then they, with some clever ingenious, some island-made rope, which they lashed around the head, they would get two teams and they would rock them so that the moai walked across the island. And they put them on these sacred platforms, ahu platforms, which were part of their religious ceremony. The moai, the statues, aren't intended to be deity. They're nothing to do with Makemake, the creator god here. They were intended to represent the ancestors. So they always looked inland. The sea is over there. Here is inland. And so they were always stood on the ahu with the intention that they should look in on the islanders. They put the eyes in last. When they put them on the ahu, then they put the coral eyes in, and so they would gaze in, upwards really towards the stars, but inwards towards the island. So they had a clear ancestor worship and an ancestor cult which happened after the 10th century. Nobody's very clear on the dates. But at some point, these moai lost a lot of their sacredness. Nobody knows how that happened. It could have been a tsunami that came and toppled them over. It could have been warring clans. But they, over the centuries, going up to the 16th, 17th century, they developed more of a focus on their god Makemake, and he was represented by a mask with a nose and two eyes, which turned upside down is male genitalia. And that about explains what Makemake became. He was a bawdy creator god, very mako, very masculine. And they celebrated Makemake in a particular race that took part where the island's males all competed with each other to go and get the first seabird egg from a nearby little rocky outcrop in the sea. What we have about Makemake is that he was fun, he was gung-ho, his pioneering spirit is so clear. We also have on this island a very obvious and still obvious seamless interaction between the people and nature all around them. The dogs and the cats and the chickens all roam around freely, the horses, and these are fun people, they're interesting people, that they are so at one, it's difficult to not keep saying the same thing. They are so seamlessly interwoven with nature. You can't help be on this island. To be honest, because it's only 11 miles by 10 miles by 8 miles, that's the size of the island, you're part of the sea, part of the sky for the whole time that you're here. So why have we got Makemake in astrology? What does he mean? What does he mean for us for the future? What is he going to symbolize? Well, we have a few issues here regarding Easter Island already. There was some myth, if you like, around the 1970s, 1980s, there was myth about how they chopped down the last tree, etc. And so the island was held up as a model of ecocide, committing ecological suicide, if you like. But I'm not so sure that's important. I think they're just missing the point. I think the point of Makemake as a planet and as a deity and an important energy for us in the future is about this gung-ho pioneering spirit, this get up and go, this very creative art. They had wonderful ideas. I mean, just look at these things, they're amazing. And then they went on to carve out rocks on the island with beautiful carvings called petroglyphs of a stylized seabird and lots of Makemake masks. So they're very arty, they just get on with it. They're so pioneering, and I think Makemake also represents movements of people, movements of population, migration in general. And we do have migration issues, of course, whilst Makemake is rising swiftly through the collective. That's what we have, migration issues going on in Europe. So I think he represents that. Maybe in the future he represents space travel, because you get that pioneering thing again, that moving outwards, that strong spirit, that confidence. So maybe there's something in that too. Anyway, it's beautiful here on Easter Island. I'm just enthralled with the whole thing. It's just magical. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.